As onye Igbo tolu n'ugwu Hausa, kedu ka isi wee malụkwa ka esi asụta nya bụ Igbo obele maka na enwe ndị to side a na-amara asụ chemgbem nwee ndị tokwa side a na-amara asụ Hausa na Igbo ka a na-asụ. Kedu ka isi wee mụta Igbo mụtakwa nya bụ Hausa na-asụkwa ya ka o si wee dị mma? Gaa n'iru.
Okay, so I think this is a dicey question. First of all, individually, when they now flair for language, like you just love languages, it is easy for you to acquire multiple languages. It's just a natural thing. Then sometimes society, or let me bring it down to parents playing roles. So I'm very grateful for my parents, in as much as we grew up in the far in a far place where we weren't rooted in our culture. My father, my mother, they made it a duty to instill Igbo culture in us, starting with the language. Because my father, he loves oneme yomenana too much. Na meeting because Ipurana from the southeast, they do all these their Igbo meetings, Igbo associations. You know, Igbo people, they identify their fascists. Yes, so because when that number when they Orumba South Umunze, so fana biakono, then they hold meetings monthly, yearly, and all of that. So I think my father was one of the pioneers, and he was in charge of them. So he was doing all of that. He always on a do meetings. Even for all of those things. We go there, we see how things are being done in the East. You know, just give us more like they mirror what happens in the East to us in the North. So these things help us. When we come back to the East, it is easier for us to, blend, sort of. So those things are no longer new to us. So having said that, to answer your question directly, my parents played that role. They made sure they taught us Igbo language. At home, if I nasubu Igbo, Makafamana, of course, they sent us to better schools. So we would be opportuned to learn English language. And it was just that. Another thing again, it was easy for me to acquire the Hausa language because it is just natural among children. I keep saying this to people that ask me. You know, when a child is young, I studied English language. So there is a course in I think like one of our courses that they teach about how humans acquire language. So a younger person, baby kunaka, with a tendency of acquiring so many languages, provided you expose that child to those languages, because there is something in your brain called tabula rasa. So the tabula rasa is usually empty for a newborn. As time goes on, he will be filling that tabula rasa with so many things, so many languages. And it gets to a point where ojugo, batazi languages. So, at a younger age, you expose your children to languages. Hausa, Yoruba, Mandarin, Spanish, French. Don't think it will confuse them. It wouldn't. They would acquire them naturally. And as time goes on, fana etozi, fana asuzie. Mana open mirror like that, a child grows up, it will get to a certain age, he or she doesn't have that prowess, doesn't have that ability to acquire any language anymore. So I think that was what happened to me, because I was just exposed to Igbo language, Hausa language, and of course English language, and the Yoruba language, because I grew up in a neighborhood where I had Yoruba neighbors, Yoruba people. I think that was how I acquired the little Yoruba I can speak now. Had it been exposed to so many in Ghana Asuka. In fact, at the point, I was also speaking Arabic too, reciting Arabic, because the school I went to, primary school, in the morning, for Otta Muslim will pray, will recite their Quran. Christian will say their prayers. So I think I picked up those ones because I can say little prayers in Arabic. And of course, by virtue of growing up in the North, I also learned few.
Can we hear the few Arabic prayers that you can?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Auzubillahi shaitanirrahim. Let me stop there, so that I don't go deep.
I don't need to go anywhere for greener pasture because I'm okay here. You know why? I am into land banking with Pine Leaf Estate and Properties Limited. Abi una no know say doctors too dey into real estate?
Ese na ndị Igbo na-enwegasị ọgbakọ dị iche iche dịka ndị Ụmụnze, dịka ndị Orumba, dịka ndị Anambra. Kedu ndị Igbo, kedu obodo dịkarị dominant na ebe ito? Kedu ndị dịkarị dominant?
Ndị Anambra, kwefuru ebe ọbụla ije, ndị Anambra nwere, they have this elegance, they have this demure, they have this vibe with them that everybody wants to identify with them. I remember because NMA meetings, each state. Sometimes you got from the Enugu state, ndị Nsukka, fa beba yo, si ka fa join ya meeting in Anambra. For instance, okay, because even na Anambra enwere ma ndị Igbo Ukwu, ma ndị Ọkụzụ, ma different local governments ona akwa. So side nke m bụ maka abụ m onye Orumba South. My father bụ onye Orumba South, my mother bụ onye Orumba North. My mom is from Ufuma. My dad was from Umunzi. So manafa na-emekọ meeting together. Orumba North and Orumba South na-emekọ meeting together. And I think fana otu akpotu. So I still remember then ndị Nsukka abịa na ayọ biko ka etinye afafa na fachọrọ. They want to belong to this association. And it was it. So generally, Igbo ndị Anambra nọ na Katsina State fana ime ọfụma. They do well. You know, business-wise, they dominate in so many spheres there. Business, you know, religion, work. Okay. Ngenyekwa ndị Imo State. Ndị Imo State bụ ndị banyechara n'ọrụ government na ndị otie. Yeah, like they dominate more. But in terms of business, in terms of social life, in terms of ife na akpọtụ, ife na, you know, not very loud. I give it to my Anambra people, no na Katsina State.
N'ime Anambra, kedu obodo kasịnụ ka dị dominant?
Ndị Vava, ndị Ọkụzụ. Ndị Ọkụzụ, yes, ndị Ọkụzụ. Because in fact, I don't know. Should I say? Yeah. But if anyone at Buffalo, because to us, like we feel they sound, they sound together. Yeah, Dodd. Yeah, so.
Bianco.
Yeah.
Bianco, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Ọkụzụ bụ be nne m, ikwu nne m dị n'Ọkụzụ, and Ọkụzụ na-eme ọfụma ebe ọ na Vajel. Anyị kọwala anyị azụ onye jelu university na Katsina, ikwuru okwu na ije university na Katsina, Dusema or something like that.
Yes.
Anyị nwagalụ na Igbo a. Kedu ka o si dị na Katsina? Or dị as free as anyị nwaga, you know, anyị na-enwecha SUG night, SUG party, eje canteen, nwụọ bịa, nwụọ mmanya, chụọ nwaanyị, you know, gbolingo dị na ya. Ndị lecturers ụfọdụ achọ ka ha di na nwaanyị before apasị ya ha. Ụfọdụ asị gị na eme apasị. Ụmụ ode ha, kedu ka o si wee dị na University Eja Enugu Awụsa? Gaa n'iru.
Okay. You know, just like I told you, anyway, we have cultural differences. The life in the north is a total different life entirely. And life here in the east is different. In fact, it's all opposite. I'm still finding my way here in the east because so many things are still new to me, even at my age. There are things I will see, I'll be like, Jesus Christ. So in the north, things are quite calmer. There are Sharia laws. First of all, alcohol is even prohibited in the north. It's not something that you drink openly. It's not something that you boast. So, and the dress code, they take dress code very, very seriously. You know, the northern parts, they cover their body. So they expect every person living there to also do like
do as romance.
Yes, when you go to Rome, you do like the romance, yeah. So they want that. They take dress code very seriously. So for my school, where I went to, but then it was even a normal thing to me. It was my life. I grew up like that all through my life. I didn't know that I didn't know they wear skimpy things because except maybe for movies that I see them. But na Katsina there, it was my way of life. In fact, I wear hijab, of course. Yeah, some of my rules. But that aside, I think at the time I was wearing hijab to school. I make sure that when I wear long trousers, I wear big shirts. That was how we dress. We wear socks, we wear so many things just to cover our body because those things are not allowed. And in school, I'm not coming here about social night or be social. I've never heard. I didn't hear.
Night.
Yes,
Departmental night.
Cha. No. So those things, except for now, because of course changes are happening, and the Gen Z era and this or Gen X, so people are beginning to challenge the norm, the customs, because if a girl can do these things in Lagos, can do these things in Oka, why can't I do them in Katsina? So we begin to find people rising up to question the status quo. And I think that's the little change that has come there. But then you would never compare it to life in outside the North. Because like I said, I had that cultural question when I left the North. I was opportune to serve at Cross River, Calabar. But there, things are things are just vague. People do things literally. Nobody, things liberal because when your orientation, alcohol, beer. And when I see those things, subconsciously, I'm surprised. Like I'll be like, are you not ashamed? Why are you doing this? So it made me, I really didn't vibe with people. Girls, when I see them, wear skimpy things, wear clothes that expose them, I'm like, well, I don't want to look judgmental because in this age, when you are judgmental, people will alienate you. People will just throw you to the side because they want to live their life. They want to be liberal. They want to be free. And that is actually something contributing to the societal menace we are having now. If I should pick, I would still stick to my northern life because there is honor, there is dignity, there is respect in decency. When you see indecency, it reeks of dirt, it reeks of irritation, it reeks of no. But decency, come on. It's lovely.
And I chukwa why na university waje ana buka chick ko nka afọ esokwu.
But na aga na-eme na nwoke bụ nwoke, nwaanyị bụ nwaanyị. Regardless of however you man see or you would have to, men, they have it inside, the libido, the urge to go after women. It's just natural. And I won't, I think I'll be honest. Nwoke ugwu Hausa na-achụ nwaanyị gwogwo. The northern, as in, too much. So when they see, and I think that's why that's why they actually cover up well. Thinking of it now, I think that's part of the reason why they cover up well. Because the men over there are easily, aroused. Seeing your laugh. In fact, seeing any part of your body, they would want to do what men know how to do best. But there is some sort of control now, just like I told you earlier. People are evolving. People are beginning to question so many things. So fun experience change. Back then in school, of course, adolescents would be adolescents. I got you line. But there is moderacy. Overall, this Southeast where virtually most of the students cohabit. That was new to me. It was when I got here, I learned that people cohabit. I don't know, call me, but that's how I grew up. I was surprised when I learned girls live with, there, it doesn't happen. We don't get to see those things. And the few ones that do it, by the time they look you, the eye they look people, they would stop it. So it's just everywhere. So these parts of Nigeria. Yeah. Corruption there, but too much.
Onye na-atụ n'oge ọzọ mana ọ tụkara n'ọka.